Workers heading out through gates of a shipyard for lunchtime break. Behind them, a ship under construction surrounded by timber, scaffolding, and cranes. Glasgow, Lanarkshire, Scotland, United Kingdom, c. 1944. The massive effort from America of the Liberty ships being made in 1941 for World War II. The Allies needed ships by the hundreds to replace huge losses. In all, 2,751 Liberties were built between 1941 and 1945, making them the largest class of ships built worldwide. A knocker-up tries to wake factory workers. Early 1900s, before alarm clocks. A Hooverville in Central Park, New York City. 1933. A Hooverville was the popular name attributed to shanty towns that sprung up throughout the United States during the Great Depression. The 1939 Schlurwagen was designed by German engineer Hans Schlur von Westhofen-Dirmstein. On August 23, 1989, about 2 million people from Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania formed a human chain that united all three countries to show the world their desire to escape the Soviet Union and the communism that brought only suffering and poverty. This power stretched 600 kilometers. The roadbed installation during the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, circa 1936. A little girl who was affected by the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The atomic bomb named Little Boy was dropped on the city of Hiroshima at 8:15 on August 6, 1945, by the order of Harry Truman, the President of the United States. American soldiers talked to newly released prisoners from Buchenwald concentration camp. Some prisoners still wear the striped prison uniforms that the Nazi Germans put on them. The Buchenwald forced labor camp is said to have held 25,000 prisoners, most of them from communist countries in Europe. Mummy Street Cellar, 1865. Egypt. Year in the 19th century, mummies had become valuable objects, and many wealthy Europeans and Americans bought them as tourist souvenirs. And those who could not afford to pay for a complete mummy could buy a separate part, such as a head, hand, or foot, from the black market. American soldier helping a Japanese woman hiding inside a cave during the Battle of Saipan. 1944. The Battle of Saipan was a series of battles in the Pacific during World War II between Japan and the United States that took place on the island of Saipan in the Mariana Islands from June 15th to July 9th, 1944, and ended with the victory of the United States. An American soldier mocked Hitler while placing one hand on his face as a mustache sign, and with the other hand imitating the famous Nazi salute, and the rest of the Russian and American soldiers laughed at him. 1945. Berlin, so. Euro. A soldier goes weak in the knees after Linda Darnell asks him to dance at the Hollywood Canteen. 1944. A British soldier shelters from the rain under the carcass of a tiger tank. Italy, 1944. A dog secretly eats an absent-minded child's ice cream. New York City, 1950. Man on his way to Harlem, New York City, 1970. Photo by Camilo José Vergara. A Martin B-26. Marv in America bombs a place near Germany during World War II, 1945. This aircraft was manufactured by the Glenn L. Martin Company factory in the United States of America and was used for the first time on November 25, 1940. In the early 1900s, a steam train carrying a heavy load of lumber came to a halt atop a trestle bridge, crossing a tributary branch of the Northern Pacific Railroad. The train's powerful engine, billowing thick plumes of smoke into the sky, stood still on the bridge's wooden structure, its wheels creaking slightly under the weight of the cargo. Below, the tributary wound through a forested valley, its waters shimmering in the sunlight. The trestle bridge, an impressive feat of engineering, was constructed of thick timber and iron supports, rising high above the water below. The rhythmic chug of the steam engine had been a constant, as the train made its way through the rugged landscape, hauling the valuable lumber to distant mills and towns. As the train paused on the bridge, the stillness of the moment contrasted with the power and movement of the locomotive, creating a snapshot of industrial progress amidst nature's beauty. Two men participating in a motorcycle chariots race, 1925. Test driving a BMW Isetta, a minicar from 1955. Hotel Astor, New York City, 1909. The building was raised in 1967 to make way for the high-rise office tower 1 Astor Plaza. The Zeppelin era peaked with Hindenburg. A mechanic checks an engine during a 1936 flight. The forgotten era of airships via old photos. the second person to survive going over the Niagara Falls. Bobby Leach later died of complications caused by slipping on an orange peel at the age of 69. Pictured. Bobby Leach and his barrel after his trip over Niagara Falls, 1911. Mount St. Helens photographed from the same spot 1 day before and 4 months after erupting. 1980. The medical center's IBM 7904 mainframe computer system, circa 1969. The entire computer once took up almost half a building. The other half was the air conditioning. A Subway chocolate vending machine that dispensed chocolate for a penny, New York, 1953. Enzo Ferrari in his first ever race as a professional driver for CMN Costruzioni Meccaniche Nazionali, Parma Poggio di Berceto Hill Climb Race, 1919. He finished fourth.